Hello, everyone. Good morning. We'll just wait for a few seconds more for the more people to join us, and then we'll begin. All right, let's begin. Good morning, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. I hope you all are having a great day so far. So, welcome you all to the Novatech webinar addressing a topic of paramount importance for the pharma industry of Pakistan. As you all know, digitalization is no longer an option. It's a necessity. It's a fundamental reality of 21st century. We need to acclimatize this in our pharma manufacturing processes. Digital transformation addresses the most pressing concerns of the pharma manufacturing today. That is productivity, efficiency, regulatory compliance at the regional and global level, helping pharma industry to explore new market opportunities globally. And secondly, and most importantly, streamlining the complex pharmaceutical quality processes. Today, our panel experts comprises of subject matter experts who have a history of helping the pharma industry incorporate true digitalization easily and effectively. They have been doing this for decades. Our experts will guide us through a very enlightening session today entitled Risk-Based Approach in Implementing Electronic Quality Management System. Quality management system is the backbone of pharma manufacturing. If we are going to understand it today of implementing e-QMS, then it would be beneficial for each one of us. I'm honored to assume the role of moderator today. Just a brief introduction. I am Mohammad Faizan Asif and I look after Pakistan and represent Novatech International in Pakistan. I'll ensure that your journey through this 90-minute session is exceptionally valuable and each and every question of yours is well addressed. Without any delay, let's begin. Let's introduce our speakers today, Ms. Vivian Santillan. Firstly, she has over 25 years of experience in information technology and services industry. She has been assisting the pharmaceutical and biotech industries for over 15 years in achieving regulatory compliance by providing technical assistance, gap analysis, process mapping, documentation, and training in quality processes. Ms. Vivian Santillan has spoken and conducted trainings to the regulatory institutions and pharmaceutical and biotech industries. She has been very active in industry associations and served as a president of ISPE Philippines affiliate for over 3 years, 2017 till 2020. She has been the past chair of Asia Pacific Council and currently co-chair of Women in Pharma, International Steering Committee member, as well as she has a very integral and instrumental role in PDA APAC. Furthermore, in the second half of our session today, Ms. Corinne Clary will be joining us from Canada. She is serving as a product specialist in technical processes and innovation. She has been with the Novatech International for over 15 years. Pharma industry of Pakistan has greatly benefited from her expertise in digitalizing contamination control, quality management system, and laboratory information management system. Many of the people in the attendees would be very much aware of her expertise. Before we start with our presentation, we'll go through a couple of housekeeping items. By default, your microphones are muted for the duration of this presentation. This webinar is 90 minutes long. If you have any question during the webinar session, please drop your questions in the question panel. We'll provide the answers after the presentation ends, or if we are short of time, we'll definitely reach out to you through email. Our technical experts will ensure that each and every question is addressed perfectly. A recording of this webinar will be forwarded after the meeting ends to each and every person attending. Now, I'll pass on to Ms. Santillan, who will give a brief introduction about herself and also give a very informative presentation of implementing risk-based approach in electronic quality management system. Over to you, Vivian.
Thank you, Faizan, and good morning to all our colleagues in Pakistan, our pharmaceutical colleagues. It is my pleasure, and of course, I am excited to present to you this topic on risk-based approach in implementing an electronic quality management system. And without further ado, let us start this session with a poll question. I hope all of our attendees will will vote on our poll question, which is now flashed on your screen. So the question is, have you automated your quality management process? Please select if you have automated your quality process by clicking on the yes button, and no if you have not yet automated your quality management process. We'll give a few seconds for our attendees to vote on the question. I hope everyone has voted. So can we share the votes? So, the responses for yes is 32%, while 68% for those that has not yet automated their quality management process. So this is really a very relevant topic that we will be discussing. And I hope that you will gain knowledge. And as Faizan mentioned, please feel free to send in your questions, your inquiries, and we will try our best to reply on your queries. So I have another question here. And again, please send your votes. What are your barriers, if any, in terms of automating your quality management process, especially to those that voted no in our previous question? So what do you think are your barriers, your challenges in automating your quality management process? Please select one. Is it budget? Is it senior management support? Is it user acceptance and adaptability? Or the lack of resources or limited quality vendors that are available in your territory? Please select your votes or answer. Can we share the result of our poll? This is an interesting reply that we have received from our attendees. So the 47% says it's budget that is a barrier or a challenge in terms of automating their processes. Then next is the user acceptance and adaptability. Well, I have been in the industry in the information technology for 25 years, and I can say that there is always a resistance to change. But as cliche as it may sound, change is inevitable, especially in our industry, and we need to learn and accept these changes and adapt. Then next would be 13% senior management support. Well, as you may know in PICS, Chapter 1 in PQS, there is so much focus on senior management support. There is now focus on how senior management will also be accountable on all the processes in your operations. Then 10% is limited quality vendors. And as mentioned by Faizan, Novatech is now present in Pakistan. And we are here to share our expertise, our knowledge, and best practices to improve and for the continuous improvement of the Pakistan pharmaceutical industry. And 7% says that lack of resources is one of their barriers. So thank you for participating in our poll. And I hope that throughout this session, we'll be able to share a little insight on how automation works and how it can benefit your quality operations. In today's world, pharmaceutical companies must improve productivity while ensuring compliance and quality, but under stringent regulations. They mentioned pharmaceutical industry has the strictest regulation. And this must be accomplished while working under heavy budget constraints, as what you have voted earlier on in our poll question, or even limited budget. And the FDA, the US FDA in particular, mentions that manual systems have large inherent operational risk, and therefore they are difficult to validate. And as we always know, if it isn't documented, it wasn't done. If it wasn't done using an appropriate process, it wasn't done properly. It is not that manual systems are not good, but it has that it is not consistently reproducible and putting in some risk in our quality operations. The the US FDA, issued a number or set of guidance. And in their 21st century initiative guidance, there is the FDA encouraged the utilization of modern and innovative technologies. And we also know that there is a lot of data integrity guidelines that were released. And this clarifies the regulatory's position on data integrity on the use of innovative technologies, as well as in terms of manual processes and what is considered the raw data and how to capture and store the data in computerized formats. Part of the roadmap to compliance is the guidelines regarding the computer system validation. So the validation of computerized system is a documented process to ensure that a computerized system does exactly what it is designed to do in a consistent manner. So what you are seeing now is a collection of regulatory guidelines with respect to computer system validation. So we have US FDA, they issued several, and the most famous regulation is the 21 CFR Part 11 with respect to, it's a Code of Federal Regulation with respect to electronic records and signatures. And they recently released in 2021 a draft of the Computer System Assurance. WHO also has their regulation with respect to computer system validation, as well as PICS. And of course, PICS is also synonymous with the EU guidelines. And these are some of the references. These are the references within the PICS with respect to computer system validation. So you need to refer to the Annex 15 qualification and validation, and of course, Annex 11, the computerized system. And the released, uh, this is already a new version. It's released in 2022, the PI 011-3, the good practice for computerized systems. And I know this is the 2007, the regulation for computerized system in regulated GXP environments. Then we also have industry guidance documents from ISPE. And this is the second edition of the ISPE GAMP 5. And this is heavily referenced in the WHO regulation with respect to CSV. We also have tsunami of data integrity guidance documents. And this guidance documents has been developed in response to increase in findings of data integrity lapses in regulatory inspections. And our regulatory inspectors expect us that all data should be reliable and accurate. CGMP regulations and guidance allow for flexible and risk-based strategies to prevent and detect data integrity issues. And the pharmaceutical companies should implement meaningful and effective strategies to manage their data integrity risk based on their process understanding and knowledge management of technologies and business models. So again, we do have set of guidance released by US FDA, by EU. So when we talk about EU, we also reference with the MHRA, MHRA GXP with respect to the data integrity, then the EMA, Q&A, and the newly released data integrity guidelines and computerized system guideline for electronic data in clinical trials, which was just recently released in 2023. We also have the guidance from data integrity guidance from WHO. The newest one was released in March 2021. And the PICS guidance on data management and data integrity, which was released in July of 2021. And we have several industry guidance documents from ISPE. With ISPE, we have the GAMP records and data integrity. Then we have 4 good practice guides from ISPE that was released with respect to manufacturing, with respect to data integrity by design, and so on. So they have additional 4 GPGs. We also have guidance documents from PDA, from Parenteral Drug Association, as well as ECA and APIC. APIC is the Active Pharmaceutical Ingredients Committee. So regulatory guidance or documents need, the reason why there's a lot of industry guidance documents that was released with respect to data integrity and also guidance with respect to computer system validation is because these are guidance on the how-to. The regulatory guidelines are more on what needs to be done, but the industry guidance gives us how to do it. So it's a pragmatic interpretation of the regulatory requirements or the guidelines. So now we go deeper into what data integrity is. By definition, this is the definition from MHRA that was adopted by PIC. And data integrity is defined as the degree to which data are complete, consistent, accurate, trustworthy, and reliable. I highlighted those keywords that are essentials, and that these characteristics of the data are maintained throughout the data life cycle. We have the data integrity attributes. And for sure, all of us knows what these attributes are. So we have the Alcoa++, A for attributable, who performed the action and when this action was performed. If there is certain changes in the record, what was changed? Who did it? Who did the change and why? You should give a reason why you need to change and should always link to the source data. It should be legible. Data should be legible. It should be recorded in a permanent and durable medium and should be readable. Contemporaneous. Data should be in real time. It should be recorded at the time the work was performed, and it is date and time stamps, and should follow an order. It should be original. Data should be original. The information must be of original record or a certified true copy. And data should be accurate. No errors or editing performed without documented amendments or justification. Should be complete. Any data should be complete. The test, the retest, the repeat, the reanalysis performed if it's a sample of our, if it's a document, how often it was revised, and who did the revision. Then it should be consistent. Consistent in terms of generation of your records, the application of the date and time stamps in an expected sequence. And during, all data should be recorded in a controlled document or worksheet. If it's a laboratory notebook, it still should be controlled or in a validated electronic system if you are using an electronic system. And data should always be available, accessible for review, audit, or inspection over the lifetime of the record, depending on its criticality and use. PDA or Parenteral Drug Association, when they released their guideline in 2018 regarding data integrity, they conducted a survey, and the survey resulted to a root cause analysis on the reasons or the data integrity failures, the reasons for data integrity failures. And what you are seeing is a chart of what are the common root cause in terms of DI failure. So there's a time pressure on people, and people are insufficiently trained, and there's a feel of reprimand. If they give a data that is not of what is expected, then there is a fear of being reprimanded. There's also pressure in terms of performance. And in the previous audit, those out of specs or anything that has deviations was not shown or was not audited. So why do I fix it? Why should I fix it? Why fix if it's not found? And this eventually develops into a culture of bad behavior. And because there is a culture of bad behavior, there is slowness in terms of filling in that gap. And this is where data governance comes in, where senior management comes in as well. This is how leader behaviors can set the tone and direction of an organization with respect to data integrity practices and expectations, where we can develop strategies for shaping data integrity mindsets and attitudes, and therefore influencing these key behavioral criteria of accountability, ownership, action orientation, and learn how to speak up. And in terms of data governance, we need to have these policies in place, how to design quality integrators or indicators to drive our desired behaviors related to data integrity. LNS research LNS Research conducted a survey in 2016 with respect to industry challenges and what are the operational challenges in quality management. And what you can see is the number one challenge to achieving that quality objective is the disparate or different quality systems in data sources, with 38% respondents across all industries. And because data sources, your quality system are placed differently or in not arranged or organized, then this challenge can be associated with lack of technology and lack of formal processes that makes a scientific failure. Next industry challenge is quality metrics are not effectively measured, with 34% of the respondents saying that measurement and evaluation of their quality performance or KPI on their key results areas are not being measured. The next is 33% of respondents say that quality is considered to be a department and not a responsibility. Again, this is a mindset that we need to establish within our organization. And the other industry challenges that are listed are with respect to our pharmaceutical quality system. And in, if we conclude on this, making a conclusion on these challenges, this clearly indicates that much of the industry has quality maturity of level 2 or below. This particular mix of challenges also illustrates the chronic underinvestment in quality, as the top two challenges are associated with lack of technology investments. So, what are the advantages of a computerized system versus a manual or a paper-based operation? So, computerized system is one of the tools to assist us in improving our productivity, efficiency within our quality operations. And automation and IT innovation are available today. And these are some of the benefits of having a computerized system where large volume of our data can be easily managed and accessible and can be utilized by your employees, by all the personnel within our organization. It is less vulnerable to human error. And this system are validated. As mentioned, manual systems are difficult to validate and maintain. Data analysis and trending can also be performed with efficiency and accuracy. And this will align now to one of the operational challenges mentioned earlier, where quality metrics are not measured. Audit trails and documentation, there would be auditability within this system, and data storage for easy access of your data. And we need to realize that computerized system will and is cost effective. So in terms of budget, this can easily be justified to answer to your bottom line. Computerized system, we need to know what is a computerized system to begin with. And the PICS guideline gave a very comprehensive definition through a graphical format, if you look at the PICS document, on what computer system is composed of. So a computerized system has software. So in your software, definitely there are the package of your software. And this software should fit the intended purpose of the process that you would want to automate or digitalize. It is an individual solution. There would be a requirement for interfaces or add-ons, and all of this software should have proper documentation and validation. Your computerized system needs also to have SOP, needs to have change control because software changes over time, versions update, patches are needed from time to time. And there would be assignments of consultants, assignment of specialists with respect to the operation of your computerized system. Of course, a computerized system needs to work through the hardware or firmware. So you have your computers, your tablets, your networks, your servers, and integration of equipment such as instruments and other laboratory equipment. In implementing a computerized system, using the ICH-Q9 framework or our QRM, where we need to identify our risk. So we need to perform initial risk assessment and determine the system impact once we are introducing a computerized system. And how it can be done through a defined user requirement specifications in consideration of GXP regulations and performing gap analysis on what you have now and what you intend to have in implementing a computerized system. We also need to check the impact to GMP or impact to GXP once we introduce this computerized system. And we can categorize our risk, and we can have this risk category. Step 2 is identify functions with impact on patient safety, product quality, and data integrity. By having specifications, the system architecture of our computerized system, and we can also make use of the GAMP category. And this is where now we need to validate the functional specification based on our URS, which we have specified in step 1. Step 3 is we perform the functional risk assessments and identify controls. Functions from step 2, with respect to your specification, your architecture, the category, as well as your URS, then with your subject matter experts or your champion within your organization, we perform the operational risk assessment, identify controls, and put in those risk mitigation. Step 4 is implement and verify appropriate controls. We can do this verification throughout all the activities that we are performing. This is where operational quality validation comes in, as well as our process mapping for our performance qualification validation. And now we go live. Computerized system that is already live needs also to be reviewed on a periodic basis. And an SOP should be laid out with respect to the periodic review to review the risk and monitor the controls of the computerized system. There would be change management or change request as you move along in the use of your computerized system. And these steps can be aligned as well to the ICH-Q9, as well as the ISO 14971, which is the application of risk management in medical devices. So even ISO 17025, they change the the ISO 17025 from 2015 to 2017, and also it captures the risk assessment. So everyone is talking about risk and how can we, and this is a tool on how can we make use or how do we perform risk assessment in our computerized system. So before we move along to our discussion, we have another poll question, and this is the question. What improvements would you like to see in your operation? Can we please launch the poll? So what improvements would you like to see? Please select one. Is it compliance improvement, ease of use, or reporting? Can we share the result of our survey? So 84% answers compliance improvements. I am actually expecting that this would be the number one top choice. This would be the top choice. Then ease of use and 0% for reporting. I assume that in terms of compliance improvement, reporting also is captured. Thank you for participating in the poll. So another poll question, what improvements would you like to see in your organization, in your operation? Can we launch the poll? So I think this is a wrong poll. It's poll number 4. What improvements would you like to see? Okay. Let's go with this poll first. Would you like to improve your quality operations? Yes or no? So of course, as expected, everyone would like to improve their quality operations. Thank you for um, participating in our questions. This survey, these questions gives us a better understanding on the objective and the goal of the pharmaceutical of the Pakistan pharmaceutical industry. So quality management or quality management system is it has several processes and it involves your business process. When you talk about business process, this can be your production, your warehouse, your quality control, your quality assurance, and other departments within your organization. And this business process would have a lot of documentation, would have a lot of documents, policies, procedures, work instructions, and so on, wherein people needs to be trained, where people needs to be involved, and there should be a workflow in place, a system in place, whether it's a manual, hybrid, or electronic system. And these processes, this whole process needs to be captured and documented within our quality management system. So this is a simplified workflow within your quality management process. As mentioned, this can be represented by several of your business processes, such as your quality, your production, engineering, warehouse, packaging, and so on. And what we have with Novatech Quality Management System, it's a holistic electronic quality management system that captures your document management module. Document management module is a complete, innovative, and secure document management system with full text searching and indexing capabilities. Documents are tracked and stored in the system, encouraging collaboration while disallowing unaudited access or changes to the documents. The system can track all types of documents, such as SOPs, complaints, clinical complaints, change controls or change requests, even batch records, investigation reports, and other validation documents or protocols or reports. It handles automatic routing, delivery, review, and approval of documents. We also have audit management module that manages and records all activities associated, whether it's an internal or an external audit. Once an audit is registered in the system, users are notified by email when observations, responses, completions, reviews, and approvals are required or entered, and when deadlines are impending or when specified tasks are outstanding. Audit management module can capture any type of audits, whether it's a supplier audit, a GMP, or an inspection audit, validation, internal, external, self-inspection, and so on. The training module that can be linked also to document management system is used to manage the training and retraining schedules of personnel and to create and manage tests or questions to assist with or determine retraining needs of your people. Users can take pre-registered tests over the company internet or intranet or your network through a software interface, and the results of the test are automatically calculated and stored in the database for reference for your people, for your personnel. We also have a powerful CAPA module that allows for verification and validation of corrective actions to ensure that such an action is effective, implementation of changes in methods that are needed to correct and prevent that are identified within the quality problems. So this ensures that information is disseminated to responsible users while accounting for proper documentation. Change control, investigations, and deviations are also captured within the process. We also have complaint management that captures your and assists with respect to your product recall, adverse drug reaction, or adverse drug effect. These are complaints may indicate a serious product and safety issue. And so these are essential to have a proper quality management program. So a QMS manages all your customer communications and whatever incoming different sources of information that provides visibility over the complete process and across the organization. So it avoids misplaced, overlooked complaints, or incomplete responses. So this is what QMS, a holistic closed loop QMS is, that allows for you to have that simplified workflow with proper traceability, monitoring, and as well as that captures all the regulatory requirements. These are some of the common challenges that we encounter in our day-to-day activities in our quality operations. So how many times you are looking for a document and it is on someone else's desk, or that person is either absent or on assignment to another department, or that has been reassigned to another department. So these challenges, like access control over your key information, centralized repository of your enterprise documentation, it adds stress to the quality system, especially during audits and inspection. So having a managed documents or a common repository of all your documents will assist us with respect to meeting these challenges or alleviating these challenges. This is a document life cycle, whether it's a manual or an electronic system. This is how it goes. There would always be a creator. Someone will create the task, someone will review, and someone will approve. So in an electronic quality management system, or an e-QMS, we can make document control more efficient and minimize risk as it provides closed-loop quality management processes within a single system. With an electronic QMS, any changes or revisions to the documents can be implemented and integrated in a secure and controlled environment with subsequent ripple effects being preempted, either planned and even managed effectively. Audit trails, related documents, version control, workflows, especially knowledge management within an e-QMS allows for effective document lifecycle management and gives the stakeholders confidence in a consistent compliance to regulations and standards. With a electronic quality management system, compliance solution that allows employees with appropriate access rights across the organization collaborate on documents. In a document management system, an electronic document management system, it provides control with full text or searching and indexing, encouraging collaborations, document tracking, and gives that control data security and control over our documents. Now we go to CAPA. CAPA you initiate can be sourced, or a reason for initiating a CAPA can be attributed to different quality events. There might be a document failure, a process improvement, training failure, or a change request, an audit, and so on. Or even a CAPA can be initiated by another CAPA. So the CAPA you initiated are any quality event. It can be created independently or linked to other events. Nova QMS provides a CAPA master list where users can filter the list, create or modify CAPAs, or plain CAPAs can be created. The system is holistic. There is integration of the whole quality system. For an example, in a CAPA, you need to update a document before closing your CAPA, or training needs to be done before closing a CAPA. And the cause of your corrective action is lack of training. So from your CAPA, you can initiate any module and be able to track, trace, and spread out all the tasks, all the people, and be able to monitor that CAPA. So how often have you checked if a CAPA is already closed or an investigation is being done correctly? So having an electronic quality management system also controls and tracks all of the deadlines and all the deliverables. Root cause analysis is a systematic problem-solving process that can assist in terms of your root cause to apply for lasting solutions. So you can have different risk tools, and these risk tools can be attached in an electronic quality management system as part of your documentation. In a CAPA, in an electronic quality management system, it has built-in best practices workflow that ensures streamlining of your process and process improvement. It has centralization of the task, documents that a team can use to manage their specific task with respect to deviation, to your investigation, to your non-conformance, and so on. There is accountability. Accountability is captured for each person that was assigned a task, the due dates, the timelines, the priority, and goes to the routing process of review and approval that is also managed within an electronic quality management system. It also monitors effectiveness. There is effectiveness check that are built in terms of monitoring and escalation metrics to ensure effectiveness of the process. It also captures or assists you in terms of control over your process from correction, prevention, and provides visibility throughout your quality events, quality operations in your quality system. In Novatech, we always believe that your data is more than just a number. Your data has the power to drive compliancy and improve your business. Quality metrics, which is also built in the Novatech quality management solution, quality management system. Quality metrics are used throughout the pharmaceutical industry, throughout our activities, to monitor our quality system, our processes, and drive continuous improvement. Quality metrics are the refined and systematic representation of our quality key performance indicators, or our QKPI, during manufacturing and quality operation. Quality metrics appeals to all the users, whether they are a read-only user, a manager, and so on. As a user, you can see what needs to be done, or as a manager, or a supervisor, or an approver. You can monitor your company's overall quality performance. Examples you can easily see through visual representation through quality metrics, the distribution of your CAPA by root cause, in consideration of your 6M, man, method, machine, and so on. The distribution of documents by supplier or customer to see what is completed on time. And you can even click on the details of each of these documents. The distribution of your audits by department or quality department that you can filter for further evaluation, distribution of tasks by user and priority, complaints by severity and root cause. So these are just some of the quality metrics that you can perform in an electronic quality management system. Using a risk-based approach through quality automation is equal to our risk control. Controlling change is one of the cornerstones of quality management, and understanding the risk of these changes being made is an integral part of our quality process. In Novatech QMS, quality people are allowed to conduct risk assessment in the system. Nova QMS risk matrix, which is shown in the screen, represents the risk score in a chart to visually illustrate the risk level using colors in a grid. Nova QMS allows for 3 separate risk assessments. The assessment can be made before, during the initial assessment of your quality event, during the implementation of your task, which is intermediate, and the final assessment stage once you have executed your immediate and action plan task. And each of these stages of the assessment is stored electronically and can be used throughout your, whether it's a change request, a deviation, and a CAPA process. So we have several tools that are built in that can be used for your risk assessment or use an attachment as shown earlier. Having an automated system or an electronic quality management system minimizes the risk with respect to data security. Having a well-defined user management, or how do we manage systems, users, where specific user access rights and security levels are controlled. And we do have independent and non-modifiable audit trails. User access rights can be defined by groups or roles and assign which access or functionality they would be having responsibility of. Email configuration and notifications can also be arranged. Mitigating risk with respect to data loss, we need to have records that needs to be retained for a certain period of time. And the time frame is determined based on the type and nature and criticality of the records. So a system should require an archiving utility and configuration tool, which will allow the view and archive data on demand. The audit trail associated also with this data should also be archived with it. So the availability with respect to data integrity should be assured, and to mitigate that risk, we need to have a well-defined URS with respect to backup, recovery, and archiving. Data loss is also mitigated, risk of mitigation with respect to data loss by having a system lifecycle approach. A URS should be well defined, and a computerized system should be fit for its intended use, where you have your functional specifications, your design specifications, which can be ensured or validated by your IQ, OQ, and PQ validation activities. And risk assessment should always be done on the onset during the user requirement specification stage, as mentioned in our ICHQ9 slide that we have shown earlier. Risk management via documentation. SOPs should be SOPs with respect to the computerized system should be set, where you have document control, security, and tracking should be in place before the system goes live. Documents should all be referenced in the validation folder or your validation binder. System documents, including your user guides, your training manuals, SOPs, your user requirements, science specifications should be managed in the document control system. And this is where we have data governance, the policies, and SOPs should be set out through documentation. The importance of data integrity and the influence that one can have on data with authorizations assigned for their job roles, as well as accountability for the consequences of accidental intentional integrity breaches. So there should be awareness on each of the users' roles, on how they impact, on how they have impact to the system, standardization, common understanding of the terms and concepts, and the use of the computerized system. As mentioned in QRM, we also need to have our gap analysis and consistent periodic review of our computerized system. So what are the benefits of an electronic QMS? It ensures that you have the correct data to make a quality decision. How can we manage CAPAs that are still open or investigations that are not completely done? So having an electronic quality system allows us to have all data can be accessed, managed in a controlled or contained in one system with inline review and approval, manages your documents, your revision, control, and chain of custody. Data data integrity and data security is ensured. Personal qualifications are also captured that complies with your regulatory compliance with respect to audits and inspections. A fully integrated CAPA with your change control or your change requests, deviation, investigations, and complaints management, as well as a holistic and meaningful quality metrics. And this is what knowledge management is, which is one of the enabler in ICHQ 10, where a systematic approach to acquiring, analyzing, storing, and disseminating information related to our products, manufacturing process, and components should be captured. This is some more, having an electronic quality management, it gives us a mindset of being proactive rather than reactionary. So we need to move away from a CAPA mindset and in turn, having a preventive action mindset with respect to having that quality metrics and trending, deployment, or how do we manage our best practices with respect to our CAP activities. High-level implications and benefits, compliance with 21 CFR Annex 11 and data integrity throughout the process ensures or enhances the status and reputation of our organization. And tracking the complete process in one integrated system will give us a lot of improvement with respect to our productivity that ensures quality and safety to our products. A regulatory compliant e-QMS manages all company documents, ensures document security and authentication. There is revision control, manages your revisions, document chain of custody, manages your training, centralizes and manages your company's internal and external audits, and a fully integrated CAPA system that includes change requests, deviation, investigation, and complaints management system. And e-QMS enables your security, your data security. It's a process-based solution customized to your business flow. It is fit for its intended use and performance. And it is a cost-effective solution for your quality management. We know at the end of the day, any investment, like a computerized or e-QMS, should be realized through an ROI, whether it's tangible and intangible benefits. So with respect to data integrity, risk mitigation, you can fix your processes, you can fix your system, you can fix your procedure. But can you fix people's habits without digitalization? Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm giving the virtual floor to my colleague, Faizan.
Thank you, Vivian. It was truly exceptional and it added a lot of knowledge as far as I'm concerned, and I'm very hopeful and I truly believe that all the members, I can see a lot of familiar names from prominent institutions, regulatory institutions, pharma industries, that they would have gained a lot of insight about how to implement risk-based approach in implementing electronic quality management system. I'll just again remind that if you have any sorts of questions, please feel free to add them in the questions box next to it, and so that our technical experts, Vivian Santalan and Corinne Clery, can address them during this session. Or if we are short of time, we'll definitely reach out to you through email addresses and ensure that your query is not left unaddressed. Before any delay, we'll proceed to our second speaker, Miss Corinne Clery. She'll be joining us from Canada. She has a pre-recorded session and she'll just share a brief insights about our company, Novatech International, our software solutions, and our services we have been extending to the pharma industry for over 25 years. So I'm very much sure that that session will be very helpful in gaining more knowledge about our company. Without any delay, I'll request to present Corinne Clary. Thank you.
Hi, and welcome. My name is Corinne Cleary. I'm a product specialist at Novatech International with a focus on business requirements, along with workflows and how those workflows transform to fit in to a digital application. Today, I'd like to take some of your time to give you an overview of Novatech International's history, products, and services. And I'd like to start with this particular slide. We also have a tagline, and our tagline is your data is not just a number. So each and every one of our applications provides continuous outputs in terms of reporting, trending, control charts, tabular reports. And these reports or trends can show you, provide you with some insights on your processes. And those insights can translate into efficient decisions about your processes, resulting in a preventative action rather than a reactive action. I wanted to provide you with some information on our divisions. You can see we have 6 divisions at Novatech. They vary. We have a plan box that addresses innovation, ideas, and collaborative management. We have Cognistat for rapid assessment software for mild cognitive impairment. One that we're really proud of is Hope for Dementia. We've started this charity, and it's been over these last few years. It's building up, and we really like helping that community and supporting that community. Today, we're going to focus on Novatech International Life Sciences, of course, and we'll talk about the applications and the history of this division of Novatech International. So we have here, we are leaders in the field. We have these applications that have been created and put to market since 2001. So we have 25 years of innovation, dedicated innovation in the industry. We started with stability, where you can see as you go through this list, we have CPM, environmental monitoring. Today's focus is on QMS, and that was first released in 2010. And so, and then if we move forward, as we come to the recent years, our latest softwares or applications that are released are concerning cleaning validation, which is quite an important topic globally to avoid cross-contamination in products. So we've had these legacies of first, and we're innovation leaders, and all of that has helped us have provide solutions to companies in reducing these products, improving the productivity, and by incorporating best practices and new regulations as this timeline has evolved, and compliance compliant to 21 Part 11 and also data integrity. Great. So if I talk about our products that were mentioned in the previous slide, and we can see that as time has evolved, we have grouped our products together. And I just want to say that all of our products are business ready. So what does that mean really? It's business ready is we can implement between 8 and 12 weeks. And once we implement, there's no configuration required. There's no hidden costs required. Once it's implemented and validated, we can start training right away and move forward with the process of going live with your solutions. So these are all business ready solutions, easy to use. And of course, each one of our solutions is regulatory compliant, both data integrity, 21 Part 11. And so if I could just talk about these groupings first for a moment, we have contamination control. So you have your water and utility monitoring for any, you know, compressed gas you might use, or water that you're using for your WFI water that you're using for your processes. We have environmental monitoring and cleaning validation. So it maintains it ensures that the environment that you're manufacturing in is sterile, and everybody's aware of any contamination that's found in that process. Each of our softwares will inform you of any type of OOS or deviation or irregular value that you find in any of your processes. We have the quality execution LIMS, so that's a raw material analyzer, in process and finished product analyzer, and stability management, which stability can predict your shelf life for your products. So, and that brings us to quality management, the quality management process. And this is what we're focused on today. And our quality management system is comprised of all of those 8 parts you see on the screen. We have kappa deviations and change control, and each of them integrate with investigations. We also have document management that's integrated with training for your SOPs. Training can be automatically scheduled for any update to an SOP within your system. And we have audit and complaint management and reporting. And this combines, in this group, we also find calibration and preventative maintenance for all your assets at your facility. And these two, that'll cover all of your preventive maintenance schedules, all of your calibration schedules, it'll cover that process A to Z. And below we have our additional solutions: automated proofreader, column organizer, consumable inventory, and screen capture tool is one of our latest products. So one of the features of all of these products is that they are all standalone products. And yet, if you want to have multiple products, they will communicate with each other where logic dictates. For example, in quality process, calibration, preventative maintenance does communicate with quality process for any products that may be impacted by deviation, etc. It also communicates directly with the LIMS system to let you know if something is out of calibration or not. So that's just to mention a couple of the connections that are there. So you can start with any of our modules. We like to say that you can build your solution as you like, and we can grow with you. And implement at your pace. So if you wanted to implement one solution or multiple solutions, our project team is very capable to manage all of those different choices that could be made. So you would have one supplier, one platform for all of those, for any of those products that you see before you. And I just want to reinforce that there are regulatory compliant software solutions to both data integrity and 21 Part 11. Okay. We have offices globally. You can see we have multiple offices in the Americas, and then also in Asia and Africa. And so what does that mean? That means that we are compliant. When I say we are compliant with the data integrity guidelines, we are also compliant globally to all regulations. We also provide 24-hour, 7-day-a-week support through our various offices. So we're aware of the regulations globally and comply with them. And you can see our various offices that will be involved in providing support. We have a partial client list. One of the things I'd like to point out to you is we have various types of clients. We have large, medium, and small clients. So we can address specific needs of each client and work with them to ensure that they benefit from the features and functions of our software. So some of these clients have had global deployments, and some of them international deployments. We're able to work with many different types of companies. We've got, you can see the names here. You can see there's animal industry companies, pharma, of course, etc. Here's a client partial list by continent. And if ever you want to see a more complete list, you can always access our web page. We do have a more complete list. And so it really enforces the global requirements that we comply with, and also our experience, because we've had many. Each company, as you can imagine, has a different type of workflow or a different um, uh, priority set for them, and we are able to adjust according to adjust to various types of workflows, and also preferences and how a process should, manifest in a digital application. We are a quality driven organization. We have the industry experience of 25 years, um, where we benefited from all those user requirements, and we built our knowledge around the regulations and our customers' experiences. Uh, we follow CGMP, GAMP5, ICH, ISO, and as I said, the data integrity guidelines and regulations, along with 21 Part 11. This is the timeline. This is an interesting slide. So you have the timeline of a general application timeline implementation versus a Novatech timeline for implementation. So you can see it has the setup, the tailor and configure, rework, and validation. Here can sometimes take up to a year. So if you have configurations that are required, those costs are very difficult to estimate, and then it lengthens that validation process because of the uniqueness of those um, customizations. Novatech solutions are process-based with no configurations required. And so you can see that the setup is quite similar, but the tailor and configure times are much smaller, and so is our validation time, which enables us to get to market, to get to implementation rather relatively quickly, and then go live, letting you use that in your production environment. So additionally, I just want to say there's no hidden costs here at all in our implementation time either. Um, so it really helps move your project ahead a lot quicker. So we're process-based applications. We put a focus on output analysis, which results in that cost avoidance, and of course, very clear um, compliance to all regulatory bodies. And we can also help you go live faster. So we have optional services that are available. They're called process mapping, SOP development, PQ, performance qualification assistance, and performance qualification execution, if you wish. And so those are all optional services, but um, over our 25 years with our implementation experience, user experience, and technical support, it translates to really seamless and rapid installations, either at your facility or on a cloud base. It really is your choice, which is your preference. So if I talk about what our project implementation looks like, we've kind of divided into these parts, or these are the main parts that are available on project management for Novatech. And we have our project plan, and our project plan, the team is assigned, and that team is assigned with some resources from Novatech and also some resources from your company. And we do that because we like to have a partnership strategy. And then the timeline is created in conjunction with this group of people, to define responsibilities and milestones based on the customer's needs. Do we need to slow it down a bit to meet some other requirement? Do we want to speed it up? And this is discussed and planned, and a project plan is clearly defined in this process. Our engineers and our QA team will always follow the SOPs and GAMP, uh, uh, the GAMP regulations when they're doing their work throughout this process. And of course, any documentation is sent to you for your approval prior to moving forward with the project. Well, while we're moving forward with the project. And so that brings us to the validation and document aspect of it, documentation aspect. So these are the validation protocols that will be sent to you for your approval. Training certification will be provided. There's training material and handout and etc. Then we move to the training aspect. So training is, we do training by rules. So we'll train your users, we'll train your IT people. There could even be a session for your management that needs to look at reports, etc. And of course, when we train, we always include data integrity best practices, what you should look at in the audit trail, when it should be accessed, etc. And we do a three-step training approach. We do a demonstration, we do a lot of hands-on in the session. The hands-on is the best way to solidify those skills. And then we do question and answer sessions so that people can ask anything they're not certain about. And then that brings us to support. We have multiple levels of support, service support agreements you could choose from. You'll have a dedicated project coordinator for your particular company. And the basic service includes email and telephone support. We have a portal. You can send a email directly into our support team. You'll always receive updates and patches if there's regulations or etc. that come through. A patch will be sent to you. Our team will work with your RI team to have those implemented in your environment. And of course, you'll have some discounts available for upgrades. Premium SLAs include regular on-site visits up to 24/7 technical support if required. So it's really your choice what level of support you'd like to have at your facility. So I did refer to a cloud deployment and here's I just want to give you an overview of two different types of system architecture, their differences and their similarities. So here we're looking at then client deployment. You can see that you have local users and remote users. So the local users will connect directly to the application server, and remote users will be able to do the same thing, but they'll connect through the VPN, and they'll be able to access that. And you can see we have no limitation here. It could be desktop, laptop, tablet. You have your database server that resides here that connects to your application server. And the link will be published, and anybody locally can access that link, and remote users will need to connect through VPN. Of course, you have to be registered in the system as a user to access the system. If we talk about cloud service deployment, it's very similar, just with slight differences. So you could choose a third party. You could choose Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure or Google Cloud Platform, and specify your server requirements with them. They have the application servers for production and validation training, and their database server. It's quite similar in terms of the way it's set up. And then anybody, remote or local users, will have the same process to connect. They'll just have a link published, and they can connect from anywhere. Okay, so that's a second type of system architecture. We contribute to the industry expertise. We have subject matter experts at Novatech who have contributed to these various publications and on various topics. And so we build our knowledge, and we like to share our knowledge. And we do so also at these events. We often speak at these events, and we'll have people we will share what we've learned through these 25 years with various people, with attendees at these events. Should you ever want to attend one of these events, Novatech can offer you discounts, etc. You just need to communicate with us. It's very easy to do. We also train. We do some PDA training for root cause analysis, for environmental monitoring, etc. So we like to contribute and give back to the industry. I did talk about your data is not just a number. We want to move from proactive to reactive. and we provide the outputs that can help achieve that. So currently, a lot of people or a lot of our clients that come to us are on paper-based, and when you're on paper-based, it takes a long time to do, enter your data, data analysis, etc. You have your risk area risk assessment here, and you have your analysis, trending and reporting that has to be developed, and you have very little time for quality decisions left in your week. But when you're using an electronic system, that process changes. Entering data, it becomes very easy. It's repetitive. You enter your data and it's approved and saved and very easily. It takes a lot less time when you're using an electronic system. Your area risk assessment, you see we still have a lot of space to be able to do these tasks. What gets larger here is that you have more time to do analysis, trending and reporting, root cause analysis, and you have uh, an increased amount of time to spend on making quality decisions about your process. So quite a difference between a paper-based and electronic system, and the transformation is amazing to provide you more information about your processes. So here's our contact information. We encourage an active community. We'd love to hear from you, and we'd like to, if you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate. We would love to be able to answer your questions. So I thank you today, and I hope you find the rest of the webinar interesting, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Clary. Your presentation was very extensive, and I hope all the participants have gained a brief insight about what is Novatech, what we have been offering to the industry for over 25 years, and most importantly, we offer each and every domain of quality process under one roof. So without any delay, we'll move towards the last poll of today's session. Do you plan to digitalize your business process in the near future? I would like to gain the insight of each and every person here. We have yes, 1 to 6 months. If you are not implementing digitalization concept in near future, more than 6 months, in 1 year, or if you are not aware, that's not also a problem. If you are not, if you do not know, that could also be a case. No problem. We'll figure it out. So we'll take your input before we finish this final poll. And let's see the answers. What we have got. Great. We can see a lot of commitment towards implementing the digitalization. That's something outstanding, exceptional, and we believe that this session would have convinced you even more. We can see a lot of commitment from the manufacturers. Yes, in 1 year you intend to digitalize your processes, pharma manufacturing processes. We also have a lot of people who intend to do it within 1 to 6 months, more than 6 months. So adding them up, it would be around 60% who are willing to implement it in 1 year. And there are few people who do not know. That's also okay. You'll figure it out in near future as well. Novatech is there for you. We can always assist you, have demonstrations, have presentations to get more knowledge. Lastly, we have a question that from a participant. I'll refer to Vivian for answering this question. How e-QMS can be cost effective, as we need multiple user IDs for implementation of each system. So I'll request Vivian if you can share your insight. That question has been asked by Ms. Wasim.
In terms of cost, in terms of cost effectiveness, of course, you need to evaluate your supplier on what they can give you. With Novatech, we have concurrent licenses. It is not a named user license. That in itself will be cost effective. It can be easily deployed. You need to have you also need to check on how your vendor will be implementing it. If, as mentioned by Corinne earlier, um, our system is considered out of the box. It's a GAMP category 3 or 4. It's hybrid. And having an easy deployment can have a faster ROI for the organization because you can make use of the system, you can utilize and gain benefit immediately compared to a highly customized or highly configurable system where you need to where there's where you need a consideration of time before you go live. So those are just some of the cost effectiveness of implementing an electronic QMS. And definitely there's a lot, and we can discuss further if you attend our session on Pharma Asia on 14 to 16 of November 2023 in Karachi, Pakistan. Back to you, Faizan.
Yes, Vivian, thanks a lot for discussing and highlighting Pharma Asia. You would be there, so very happy to see you there physically. And we are exhibiting at Pharma Asia, the biggest pharma event of Pakistan. We have secured the booth. We will be speaking at this event, and we'll be seeing each and everyone here at that event. And your queries could always be addressed. We have received only one query at this moment, but no problem. You can always text us, you can always email us, you can email me, you can email Vivian. The contact details will be shared very soon, so you can always approach us, and any sort of technical queries will be well addressed very soon. So with no delay, this concludes our webinar for today. Thank you everyone for taking out the time and joining us for such a valuable session. It is because of you that webinar has been a success. And most importantly, we would like to thank Vivian and Corinne for joining us, presenting us with such a great information and sharing their views and expertise with industry of Pakistan. And lastly, for those who posted questions, we appreciate their support. For those who raised hands, we appreciate their support. And eventually, time is money. So for those who allocated the time, we appreciate your time allocation for Novatech International. And we'd love to see you in the very near future in November, along with Vivian in Karachi, Pharma Asia. I'll just remind, in case of any sort of queries, please don't hesitate to reach us. Please do not hesitate to reach out to Vivian, me, and Corinne. We are always there for the pharma industry of Pakistan. And we'll be wrapping up. You'll be getting the recording of this webinar very soon, and we'll love to hear from you how our webinar was. Thank you very much, and I'd like to say goodbye to all the industry members here. Thanks, Vivian. Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.